Hello, I'm Leo Freak Daddy Brown. This is another Kentucky Artist Spotlight. Melissa Beth Deaton with us today, and RadioKY.live's spinning her stuff. Melissa, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'd like
Thanks
to
so much
ask
for having me.
first, where are you from in Kentucky? Where's your hometown?
I'm from Lexington
Okay.
originally. I've basically lived in like every surrounding county at some point. And I live in Georgetown, right outside Lexington currently. So I've lived here about over 15 years.
I got you. But being from Kentucky, I always like to ask, what's your favorite thing about Kentucky?
Well, being in the heart of the bluegrass, of course.
Hmm.
It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I have moved and I've lived in Atlanta and I've lived in
Mm.
Nashville and I've traveled all over the world. And
Oh, wow.
there's nothing like coming back home. I mean, it's so beautiful. And, I love the culture. I love the people. And this is just always will be my home. So,
That's awesome. So how long you been doing music? When did you start it all?
well, I started singing in church, like many of us at 5. I started singing Amy Grant, and I continued to do that for most of my young years. Started doing like singing competitions, and then I got into a Motown band when
Mm.
I was in my 20s. So I've done Christian, Motown, but country and folk and Americana is just kind of where I naturally fall and where I gravitate to the most. So I moved to Nashville for a while, and I didn't really like do the music plans that I had planned on doing there, but I
Mm.
did learn. I learned a lot of life lessons.
Yeah.
And,
Were you trying? Did
um,
you move to try to do music? Was that the whole idea?
yeah, I mean, I was really young, and I knew some producers down there, and I kind of just wanted to move down there and get a feel for the whole music scene and see if it was
Hmm.
even really something I wanted to be a part of because.
Right.
Um, independent music and social media and stuff wasn't a thing then, getting like,
Right.
2000, 2001 and 2.
Sure.
And then I did really kind of learn that I met a lot of executives from a lot of record labels, just, running into them and being around them. And I just kind of didn't like
Mm.
the whole world down there.
Yeah.
So I came back home and, kind of tried to decide where I wanted to go with music. I was a flight attendant, so I kind of went off and was doing that for a while and traveling. But I knew that I wanted to write music really badly, but I didn't play an instrument.
Oh,
So
wow.
I knew that I had to learn how to play the guitar or something, and in order to be able to be independent on my own and not depend on someone else to have to play music for me or write music for me.
Hmm.
So I started learning the guitar in my late 20s, early 30s.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so it's never too late.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
It's
and then I
a
started
good lesson.
writing music and um, releasing some albums and started taking it, things to the next level. But
Wow.
I have been on a TV and radio broadcast. I sang with Amy Grant and Jewel, um, all some of Susie Bogus.
Oh,
So
wow.
a lot of really great experiences with that.
That's awesome. So interesting how that came around. You were singing Amy Grant stuff in church, and
Yeah.
you actually got to perform on stage
Yeah.
with her.
And she sang the song for me my first song, I sang Father's Eyes. And I told her backstage it was the first song I ever sang. And she actually changed her song list to play that for me. So it was
That's
obviously
awesome.
a huge full circle moment. Yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty cool.
That's crazy.
It
So,
was.
yeah, yeah. And especially to come, couldn't have been that long ago that you were in your late 20s when
It was
we were
sure.
learning to play guitar, right? It just had to be just
Right.
a
Yeah.
couple of months ago when all that went
Sure.
down.
That's what we'll
So
tell everyone.
that's right. So what do you're writing new material now? You're about to release some new stuff. What's going on with that?
So I just recently signed with an independent record label called Creative Soul Records, and I'm
Mm.
working with my producer Eric Copeland, who I had also worked with in my early 20s. And so he's a B in Versailles now. He's down in Florida, but
I love Eric. I had no idea that he was still doing stuff of that nature. Todd, God
He
rest his soul,
is.
his brother and I played in a
I
band
know.
together for a few years back
Did
in the
you?
early '90s. Yeah,
Oh wow.
he's
Yeah. So
his talent. He's an amazing talent. Eric
he
is.
sure
That's
is, and
awesome.
he's still working hard, and he's I think he's better than ever. So I had done
That's
an
great.
album with him, and that I'd won quite a few awards with that. And those weren't songs I wrote, but they were songs I had chosen. And
Hmm.
so I was like, I reached back out to him, and I was like, yeah, I'd really like to work with you because I think he's the best. And
Mhm.
so now I've signed with his label, and we released my first single, "Wasted." And then I just recently wrote a new one called "You Don't Know" that's coming out July 3rd. So yeah, we've got lots of exciting things planned, and yeah, I'm
Shows,
excited about
tours,
it.
conquering the world. What's next?
Well, maybe someday, but I am playing this weekend. I actually have 2 gigs on Saturday, but I'm playing at the Slancha House in Georgetown,
Hmm.
Kentucky. So it's a neat little Irish pub, and I do a lot of private gigs. Through I have a booking agent who gets me a lot of cool stuff at Laceland
Wow.
Country Club, and wine tastings. And I do also play at a retirement community or assisted living
Those are some of the best
a couple
gigs ever.
times a
I've
month.
played many
Yeah.
of those. Those are always,
Yes.
you get an appreciative audience.
Yeah.
You can ask for more, right? It's great.
Yeah, it's really sweet, and it means a lot to them. So I enjoy it. I have a whole song list just for them. I had to go back to like the 40s and 50s for them, but they
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They always request Elvis, right? That's
Yeah.
when I always get.
Yeah, and I do Frank Sinatra, and I do Doris Day and Debbie
Oh,
Reynolds.
wow.
So they love that. They love it. So
That's rewarding stuff without
yeah,
question. So the new
exactly.
single's coming out early in July, and
Yeah.
that's going to be on all the streaming services as soon as you get that to us. Can we get an advance of that?
Yeah, I think Monday we're going to go ahead and release the pre-sale.
Okay.
So I'll be putting that out on my Facebook and social media.
And spinning on RadioKY.live.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, Melissa, great talking to you. It sounds like you got a lot of good stuff going on. I'm excited for you, and we look forward to everything that's happening. And please tell Eric Copeland I said hello.
I will. Thank you so much. It was great talking with you.